Hey everyone, welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be looking at the Cool Master Silent Pro M2 power supply. Alright, so let's have a quick look around the power supply itself. First of all, it has some very nice stickers on the side, but they are very big. And they have the name as well as the wattage, and they are on both sides of the power supply, as you can see. Now, not that I dislike it or would think it's a very important factor, but as you can see here, the sticker is in the same positioning as the sticker here. So if you turn the power supply around, the sticker on the other side is going to be upside down. So the power supply is always going to have to face this side up if you want the name like this. So you can read it actually. Let's go around. As you can see, it's got a nice paint finish, black. Looks very nice and sturdy. You got a power plug here, you got the on-off switch, and you got some exhaust here for the fan. As I said, the sticker on top, you have sticker with information. I'll get to that a little bit later. And right here you have the cords. So you have a few cords which are on there. You can't take them off. And these are two CPU 8-pin connectors and one 24-pin connector. Now there is no 4-pin CPU connector, only 8 pins. Without, well, you can't take them apart, so they're both 8 pin 24/7. Alright, and as you can see, the power supply itself is actually modular next to that, and they have actually got some very nice cables for this. As you can see, these are a couple of the cables. These are the 6+2 pin PCI Express power cables, and as you can see, they are flat cables, black. Also, these are for the power supply right here. So yeah, very nice looking. I love these kind of cables. They're very good for cable management. They're not too thick, so in cases with a very small space between the motherboard tray and the side panel, that is really one of the kind of cables that you can use there to still do a good cable management job. Although, then again, if they have cables like this, which they have here because it's not fully modular, well, these kind of cables can actually be a little bit thicker there, and it can be a little bit more annoying for cable management. But all in all, this is much better for cable management, and also a modular power supply improves airflow because there are no cables that are not supposed to be there, and they won't be holding up any airflow. Now if you have a look at the other side of the power supply, you can see the 135mm fan. And this is a fan with silent hydraulic bearings. So normally this fan should be very silent. So that's the fan, and as you can see, it's got a nice logo on top there, the nice Cool Master logo, and a fan grill, which is, by the way, might look gray here on the review in the video, but actually the fan grill has a glossy black paint finish. Alright, we're going to be going a little bit deeper into the specifications. So as you can see here on the sticker on the back of the power supply, you actually have quite a lot of information about that. So you have all the rails here, so you can have a look at that right now. And you also see the 80+ silver certificate. This means that the power supply has a very good efficiency. In this case it's 88%, which is quite good, and they gave the 80+ silver certificate. And there are also quite a lot of protection systems and safety systems on the power supply, all the ones that you basically need, which they always give with Cool Master. That's one of the good factors from Cool Master. You always get very good safety. So I'll just list them here so you guys know. You can always just see them on the website as well on Cool Master. And yeah, the power supply also has active PSU, which is quite important. Otherwise you could have stuff going on, like if your power supply has a problem, stuff like, yeah, burning up a motherboard and all the circuits are going, well, they're gonna produce a lot of smoke. Alright, I think I actually covered everything here regarding specifications. Perhaps, yeah, I see here, I'm actually checking a little list that I made from stuff that I looked up, that the power supply should run at least 100,000 hours, so that's quite a lot, and probably good enough. You get a 5-year warranty with this, so you should be good with that. Alright, so I felt like I had to actually show you guys the cabling a little bit better. So yeah, we have the cables here, and some people want to know if it's very flexible, if it's not flexible, how the connectors are. Well, connectors are actually very nice, very basic. nothing special. You have the clip here. The Molex connectors, I'm going to show you guys this too. They don't have these pushing button thingies, so you can pull them out more easily. But yeah, everything seems very good. Very well made. No weird things going on with the cables where they enter the connectors, so that's all very nice. So yeah, these cables are very flexible indeed. Let's have a look at the 24-pin cable. If we can actually bend this, and it's going to stay that way, means that we can actually bend it like we want, and this part seems, yeah, that's flexible enough. Alright, now we get the black flat cables. These, let me take one out just to get an example. Alright, these are always very flexible, so you know, cable management, you can roll these up if you want, and you can put them together like that, you know, stuff like that. You do with these whatever you want, so no problem at all. So these cables are very good. They're awesome, especially the black cable are awesome. These are nice. These are awesome. Alright, let's move on with testing. And I bought something recently, which you probably didn't see in my previous reviews because I didn't have it. Alright, but yeah, I bought something to test the voltages of the power supply, so let's get right to that. Alright, so I've got the power supply hooked up to the Thermaltake Dark Power 2, and we're gonna be testing the power supply with this little guy. I haven't hooked up the Molex connector because the Molex connector wasn't able to be connected because here on the top of the tester, the connector actually has, I'm going to take an example, this corner, and that made it impossible because I had to take away the Molex for that. So first we're going to do it with the Molex. After that I'm going to take the SATA and connect that as well. So we're going to plug in the power, and we're going to start this up. And I'm going to do a test. Alright, so as you saw, it just ran through a cycle of the 24-pin, the PCI, the CPU, and then the Molex. And now I'm gonna disconnect this and we can go use the SATA. So let me do that quickly. There's so much power in this power supply. Alright, so I've connected the SATA here, as you can see, and now we'll have a look at what the SATA can give us. Alright, so as a conclusion, what can we say about this power supply? Well, it's a good power supply. It has a good price. 150 euros isn't bad actually. Might seem high to some people. They might think it's not really worth it. Maybe there's probably good competition on the market for this power supply, but perhaps not from good brands. Always be sure when you buy a power supply that it is a brand that is well known for power supplies, and because basically there are brands that make power supplies but they're not really that safe, because there are quite a lot of safety features in a power supply, and it's one of the more important things in your PC. If your power supply fails, if it has something that goes wrong in the circuitry, it could destroy your computer, so you don't want that to happen. So paying a little bit more for that is actually not bad, and at 150 euros for an 850 watt power supply doesn't seem bad to me. But I think I forgot to mention this. This power supply ranges in different wattages, as pretty much every series and from every manufacturer. So for the Silent Pro M2, it goes from 420 watts up to 1000 watts. So I'll list them here or here, which wattages there are. And of course, the less wattage amount you choose, the less it's gonna cost you. Alright, so moving on. Actually, I didn't think it was that loud. Probably because there wasn't much noise. Load on the power supply. But yeah, just like that, it's gonna be the same on idle. And if we have a look at the graph on the box, which I have right here, showing me that it kind of stays like that at that loudness until 60 to 75% load. So the graph right here, I'm just reading what part Cruel Master gives on the box, and you can trust this certainly. So yeah, 65 to 75% load. You already gotta put some load onto that thing then. So you're probably gaming if you're doing that, or you're rendering. If you're rendering, okay, you might understand that it getting a little bit louder might be annoying, but if you're gaming, it doesn't really make that much difference normally, because you've got your sound from your game. Unless, of course, the power supply is in a room with a lot of people and you're using a headset. Okay, I could understand that, but it's not really going up that much according to the graph. Only like a few volts. The fan is only going a few volts faster, so that's not really much. So silent, yeah, it is silent. The guy who told me on Facebook that it isn't silent, I was actually just thinking about that mainly now. It's either your power supply, or might have got a lot of dust in it, or your case itself is very silent, which just makes the power supply sound like the one that is louder. Anyway, moving on with that, the cables. I like the cables a lot. One thing though, I would always, I'm gonna say this with every modular power supply now, I want a fully modular power supply. I've had the Silent Pro Hybrid, it was, yeah, Silent Pro Hybrid, I got them over there, so I'm looking at the name right now, so just to check that I'm sure. Yeah, so I had that power supply tested. Well, I tested it. I didn't have it tested. Whatever. So I tested it, and yeah, that was fully modular, and actually I very much like that. And I want to see that more. There aren't many power supplies out there, but I want to see that more. I'm not going to make a very big point of that, because these cables are actually always needed. The 24 pin and the CPU power certainly are always going to be needed, or pretty much always. So actually it's not that big an issue, but it's nice to see that everything's modular. Also, I actually want to see that, and this is not a con, this is just something I want to see, this cable, 24 pin cable, but as a flat cable, like, you know, those black ones this power supply has. I want to see that. I've never seen that, but if there's a power supply, if Cool Monster makes a power supply with that, it's going to be nice. Very nice indeed. Moving on, cables. So yeah, modular, and these black flat cables, love it. Yeah, other than that, the sticker on the side, okay. It's got all the safe features you need. Yeah, I covered that, I think. And the voltages, I'm not really sure yet, because this is the first time I use the voltage tester and a review, and I haven't got much to compare it with yet. So I will be testing other power supplies, just to give myself an idea about what is good voltage that it produces. But what I saw here now is actually that the voltages seemed quite close to what the standard did. That, you know, if you have 12 volts, it says 11.9. That seems quite close to me. Actually, I'm gonna be testing more power supplies in the future. This is one of my goals, at least in the next coming months. But yeah, I'm gonna learn more about that then. But it seems quite close to me right now, and it seems quite good. The voltage seems good, so stable power supply. I'm gonna conclude this. I'm gonna draw a line here under all my explaining whatever it is I do here. So yeah, good quality. It's got very good build quality, good safety features, nice cables, silent, good voltages. I'm not really making a big point out of that right now, but it's in here so you can see the results yourself. You can compare it with other reviews from other reviewers if you want, of course. That is up to you. And yeah, that's all I can say. So I'm gonna give this power supply the awesome award. That seems the award that it deserves, so that's what I'm giving it. Very obvious and logical, whatever. See you guys in the next video. Thanks to Cooler Monster for sponsoring us, and that was it for today.